naawa talaga ako sa kanya. Alam mo, kampanya ng kampanya para sa kanya mga kandidato. Tapos sabi niya, gagawa siya ng sarili niyang bloke, na independent block. And na yun, mag-isa na lang siya. I heard na mag-isa na lang siya.
I don't know if you've been asked before, ba't kayo bumoto doon sa meeting if you feel that...
Because remanding is just trying to get an answer from them on the issue on constitutionality. You have to remember that I came out on the floor and I said that as far as I'm concerned, hanggang 19th Congress lang ito. Hindi lalabas to ng 20th Congress. Kailangan gawin ulit. That was my position. Now,
kailangan gawin ulit, kailangan mag-impeach sila ulit sa House.
Yeah, because just like legislation, just like committee resolutions and committee reports, at the end of the Congress, tapos na yan. That's my personal position. That's not my legal position. That's my personal position. Whether that is right or not, it's like Tolentino, Senator Tolentino, the majority floor leader, that was his position. So,
Personal position, kung magkakabotohan, yan ang boto mo.
no, but I'm also in favor of following the process. Do you understand? I would not have dismissed it outright. Alam mo yung remanding na yan, sa totoo lang, ang balita sa akin, hindi naman remanding ang pinag-usapan dyan, dismissal yun eh. Kaya nag-away nga si Sen Joel at si Sen Robin. Dahil nabibinig ko si Sen Robin, napakinggan ko. Hindi, wala sa usapan yan eh. Diba? So, wala sa usapan. So, ibig sabihin, siguro may pinag-usapan sila. Alam nyo naman, ako, tsaka si Senator Lawrence, tsaka si Senator Binay, kami po ay grupong slap soil. Ano yung slap soil? Diba? Hampas lupa. At pagkatapos nga naging na kami, dead hungry. Diba? Patay gutom. Kaya, out of the loop kami. So,
yun ang usapan.
Well, I don't know. That was the chismis. Then, of course, and that's why there was a tension there because the group of Senator Bato really was pushing for dismissal. Now, if you ask me, as I mentioned earlier, as a member of then the Spice Boys in the 11th Congress, we were the ones who gathered the signatures of the impeachment of then President Estrada. We gave it then we were able to convince then Speaker of the House, Manuel Villar, to read it during the prayer. Kasi alam namin, magkakagulo because they still had the majority of members that were against the impeachment of the former president. So, nangyari dun, bakbakan, di ba, dinala sa Senado. What did the Senate do? The Senate could have dismissed it at that time and say that was not the proper procedure because there was no motion made on the floor. You read it as a prayer. But did the Senate dismiss it? No, they did not. They heard it. My point is, it's not about my personal opinion if she is guilty or not, the Vice President. Kasi ako, alam mo naman, taga Mindanao ako. Yung tatay ko hindi pumirma sa impeachment as former congressman. And we became heroes for it in Bukidnon. Talagang sa Bukidnon, 99% ng tao dun pro-Sara. So ang punto ko it's not about my personal anymore. It's not about my personal opinion or my personal vote on the matter or my personal feeling. No, if she's guilty or not. It is the procedure that must be followed. There is precedence. We've had in this Constitution, if I'm not mistaken, since 1987, only two successful impeachments. The third kasi, nag-resign siya. Nag-resign si Merceditas Gutierrez. On these two, it was acted upon by the Senate. So, I'm sorry, wala naman nakalagay sa Constitution, nakalagay doon forthwith, di ba? Hindi naman nakalagay doon forthwith unless dismissed by the Senate before actual trial. Wala doon sa Constitution. So I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, as you all know, but in my lengthy member as a legislator who has seen both of these impeachment exercises, I think we have to follow through. And then we do a vote. Huwag na kayo matakot. Kung pro-Sara kayo, di bumoto kayo against the impeachment. It's a political exercise. But the process has to proceed forward. That's to move forward. So now, that's my position. Kaya, I want to put that on record. Whether I'm pro-Sara or not, I cannot, I have to listen to the evidence that will be presented by them. Of course, I have some biases. I think that it is a witch hunt because they want to remove her from public service para yung iba makaupo at yung iba ay mawawalan ng kandidato na kalaban pagdating sa halalan ng 2028. But I will set that aside. I'll set my bias aside because we have to follow the process. Yan ang proseso ng konstitusyon. It cannot be changed. If we violate that, then we violate our oath of office when we say that we will defend and protect the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. So, definitely, we have to do what is right here.
Sir, do
We
you
may
share
proceed with the
yung,
process. Trial, you mean trial, formal trial.
Yes, no, proceed that. Well, at least, let's invite the prosecutors. Tell them, ano ba yung ebidensya ng... Alam mo sa simbahan, I think Sunday kasi kahapon, sa simbahan na yun lang ako nakakita ng mga 4 na pamilyang lumapit sa akin. Ano bang tinatago ninyo? Ano bang ginagawa ninyo dyan sa Senado? Nasisira yung integridad, nasisira ang pangalan ng ating Senado dahil sa wala tayong ginagawa. With due respect, no, to my colleagues on both sides. Ang akin dyan, let's do what we are supposed to be doing under the Constitution. That's our constitutional mandate. And then we make a decision. Panindigan niyo yung decision niyo. Either to impeach or not to impeach, to acquit. So, yan na ang position ko dyan.
RG, meron ka pa ba? Okay na. Okay, before Dindo, Camille, Mean, and Daniel. Sir, going back dun sa Senate leadership, mag-e-effort ka pa ba para makakuha ng support for Tito Soto or tanggap nyo na po na kayong posibleng maging minority pag nag-open ang 20th Congress?
I have a lot of privileged information. Yung mga kumakausap na sa akin na ganito, hindi magandang pakinggan. Kaya hindi ko na lang babanggitin. What are the reasons why they don't want Tito Sen? Why they don't want Ping Lacson? Masyadong stricto, masyadong kaya mahirap ng magsalita kasi ayaw ko naman maipit yung mga nagkwento sa akin ito. It's more of accommodation. I think many of them were given the best committees that this Senate can be offered. Obviously, our selling point with our group is to be able to repair the image of the Senate, and therefore we want to make it more transparent, especially dealing with the budget. We want to give the committees to those who are rightfully deserving because of their qualifications. Maybe it's not saleable.
tanggap nyo na
It's not saleable to the members of this new 20th Congress. Tanggap namin. Ako gusto ko, I started my career as a minority member. I will end my career as a member of the minority. Okay sa akin yun.
And then yung group nyo, tinatawag na conscience blacks?
Well, sabi ni Senator Ping, tinatawag yung conscience block. I call it veterans block. Kasi, to be honest, we don't have naman the monopoly of conscience. Di ba? I have members like Congressman Marcoleta or Senator Marcoleta, may conscience din naman yun. So ayoko naman, di ba? Ayoko naman sabihin na kami meron sila, wala. Parang Spice Boys yan di ba? Yung kalaban namin nun, Bright Boys. Sabi namin, di naman kami nagpapanggap na bright. Spicy lang. Maanghang lang. So ako, I'd rather be known as a veterans block. And because we've seen it all, and we've seen how the Senate at once upon a time was its, of course, peak performance in terms of trust rating with all our kababayans. Sana we can bring it back to that level.
Okay, Dindo. Dindo muna.
Wala kang ibang kasama.
Alam mo, naawa nga ako kay Senator Risa. Naawa talaga ako sa kanya. Alam mo, kampanya para sa kanya mga kandidato. Tapos sabi niya, gagawa siya ng sarili niyang bloke, na independent block. And na yun, mag-isa na lang siya.
Nasa
Kaya I heard na mag-isa na lang siya. I cannot confirm nor deny this. But,
willing yung i-adapt, sir?
of course, she's most welcome to join us. Although we have a divergent, I'd say, position on some issues. Kasi of course she's more on the left side. We're more on the conservative side. Many of you know I'm a conservative politician. So, but you know, when it comes to transparency, sama-sama kami. Di ba? When it comes to abuse of authority, dapat sama-sama kami na tumayo. We welcome her to join us. We'll adopt her even if she doesn't want to be adopted.
So 5 ang minority.
Well, no, I don't want to answer for her. Ang sa apat lang kami, handa na po kami sa pagiging minority.
Okay, Dindo.
Sir, nabanggit niyo yung leadership style. Si kay SP Chisba, hindi ka satisfied, especially sa pag-handle ng impeachment case? Hindi ka ba siya believe sa style ng leadership
Hindi
niya?
lang yan marami pang issues Ako, katulad niyan, yung sa budget, para kay pa ako nag-vice chair. Di ba? Tinanong nila ako kung gusto ako mag-vice chair nung sa budget noong 2025. So, I said, okay, I'll volunteer kasi para naman, wala naman akong committee. Di ba? May committee ako, Economic Affairs. Wala naman akong ginagawa. Alam niyo naman, gusto ko magtrabaho. So, hinandle ko yung sa DOST, Department of Science and Technology. Tuntua ako, nabigyan ko sila ng 1 billion additional budget, 1.4 billion, 1.3 billion. Pati PSI, Philippine Science High School, campus na bago, ang ganda, nalagay na namin sa budget. Pagdating sa BICAM, tinanggal lahat. Nabawasan pa. Yang hiya ako, kaya di ba nakita mo yung speech ko sa floor, dun sa picture taking sa BICAM, di ko nga piniman natin. I walked out of the BICAM. I was also upset on the handling of the budget. Apparently, I'm not the only one. Across the board, all the amendments given to all the departments, tinanggal, nilampsam, kung anong ginamit dun sa pera na yan, hindi ko na alam. Diba? So, now, we get a budget that education is only number 2 in priority, which is it's a constitutional violation, by the way, which is still being heard in the halls of the Supreme Court. So, if you ask me, that budget was the worst budget I've ever seen in my 25 years of public service. I mean, we all, as leaders, I had 2 budgets during my time. Sinagot naman ni Sani yung mga kung saan pumunta yung pera, nadagdagan yung edukasyon, nadagdagan yung military. Diba? Klarong-klaro. Ito, puro DPWH lang nadagdagan Diba? So, diba? Nabusog yung DP.
Dondi, meron ka pa?
So, yun lang. Kaya, that was just one of them. So, the handling of the impeachment is one. Of course, the budget's another. And the lack of transparency. For example, the Senate building. What is going to happen with the Senate building? Findings came out na wala naman. On track naman daw. We're spending a lot. 4 kasi na tower yan Di ba? So, ano na yung pangyayari dyan? Di namin alam. Matutuloy ba yan? Will it become a white elephant? We're not told what's going to happen to that.
Hindi ka na-update.
No, there's no update whatsoever. You don't know what's going on. Among their side, yung kumakausap lang sa akin doon, and I'll be honest about it, and I thank him for it, is Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. Senator Cayetano is the only one lumalapit sa amin. Kanakausap kami, yung ano bang mga problema na pwedeng maayos. Kasi accounts chair siya, di ba? So, I have to thank Senator Cayetano. At least he reaches out to us. Me, Senator Lauren, and Nancy, who's now mayor of Makati. So, yes, I see that the leadership is lacking. We need some sort of, if not, then we're ready to be in the minority.
Okay, Mayan Camille and then from Rappler.
Sir, does it sadden you na kung sino pa yung mga veterano, experienced gaya ninyo, kayo pa yung hindi mag-lead sa 20th Congress? Kumbaga, pwede nga minority talaga kayo.
Yeah, actually, it saddens me because, alam mo, yung chairmanship kasi na yun, parang binibigay sa mga not so qualified members of the Senate sa aking pananaw. At tapos yung mga super qualified, katulad ni Senator Lauren Legarda, ay binigay sa kanya culture and arts na lang, na napakasipag naman ng tao. Sabi ko nga sa kanya, baka sa next Congress, hahatiin na yan. Baka ikaw na si culture, ako na si arts. Committee on Arts, siya culture. Dahil nga, hampas lupa na kami. Dead hungry, patay gutom na kami. So, paglaban na lang namin yung integridad ng Senado.
So wala pang pag-uusap sa committee chairman?
Wala. Kami, whatever.
Kayo, sir, what did
What?
you ano po kinuha? Makukuha?
Nothing. Nobody's talking to us anyways. So, nobody's talking to us anyway. So, wala problema. Yung masama doon, pati yung mga kasamaan ko na parang gusto ko na ilabas sa sama ng loob ko. Pero sige lang.
So, sir,
Tayo lang naman, no? Tayo lang naman tayo.
so, sir,
Tayo lang naman, tayo.
so, sir,
Online ba? Okay.
So, sir-
Hello, online.
sir, yung bang seatmates, buhay pa o disbanded na?
Wala na. Medyo masama nga loob namin kasi at least sana naman kinausap din kami. Alam naman nila si Tito Sen yung unang namin. I've been telling them, okay ba kayo kay Tito Sen? Tahimik lang sila, no, quiet lang sila. Tapos mamaya-maya may mga na pala sila.
Statement na.
May mga
Decision
na
na.
hindi naman kami sinama. Baka gusto nyo, sama-sama tayo na ito yung committees nyo. Ganyan. Wala. Hindi kami kinakausap. So it's okay. Kaya nga patay gutom na kami.
Kaya ba paulit-ulit ka kanina na sinasabi mo, i-emphasize mo yung loyal majority?
I don't know. I was just loyal to my... I'll tell you what. During the Farmally, kaya nga, my demise was because I respected the committee system. I respected the committee chair. My demise was I respected my committee chairs even under the insistence of some of my colleagues and some people in power to stop certain hearings. Kasi nakita ko yan sa Farmally. Nung panahon ni Tatay Digong, ni President Digong Duterte, they were trying to stop the Farmally hearings. 1 year yun kay Tito Dick Gordon, di ba? 1 year yun. And it came to a point that there was almost a coup attempt against Tito Soto at that time. I was approached, I will no longer mention who approached me, and asked if I was interested to take over his position. I said no. That's for the record. I said no. At dahil I said no, nanatili din yung grupo namin sa seatmates block, wala silang magagawa. Di ba? So, tuloy-tuloy yung hearing noon.
So, wala na seatmates, sir, ngayon? Wala na?
Hindi pa buwag ba?
Buwag na.
Well, hindi ko sabihin buwag, pero syempre,
Nag-iisa ka na lang ba sa seat?
kami ni Loren,
Sila ni Lord.
Sir, isa na lang. Sir,
meron kaming grupo, sa grupo sa aking aking Viber, may Viber group ako, Slap Soil Seatmates.
Ampas lupas.
Slap Soil Seatmates, ako, Senator Nancy, Senator Lauren, sinama namin si Sec Angara. Kasi nabawasan yung budget niya ng education eh.
So, hindi nakasama
diba?
sila. Anyway,
yung wala sa slap soil.
hindi na.
Meron din kaming grupo na original seatmates. And,
Pero, wala na.
syempre, may mga joke pa rin kami dyan. Yung mga
Akala ko tahimik na eh.
joke time.
Kailan yung huli?
Sino ulit nag-joke, sir?
Sa seatmates. Matagal ng panahon.
Medyo matagal-tagal na yata yung mga.
Sir, isa na lang. Sir, so tama po ba? Suko na yung grupo ninyo? Mukhang wala
Hindi naman
na
suko
wala.
na kasi, I don't know. That's okay.
Anong-
It's okay with me. I treat them with respect. That's par for the course. We're in politics. Of course, in politics, there's no permanent friends,
No permanent.
no
enemy.
permanent enemies, only permanent interests. So,
Pero yun nga, sir, since meron na nga si SP Cheese ng majority, mukhang malabo na si SP Soto for now.
for now, yes. But we're open to another third force. Baka may dark horse dyan na gustong tumayo. Why not? We talked about it sa grupo namin. If
Meron.
there's a dark horse that will come out, that's not necessarily us four. We're willing to support. Basta ang pangako lang niya ay transparency at integridad ng Senado. Yan ang mahalaga. Ang integridad ng Senado at isunod ang mga rules, mga batas, mga tinatawag natin traditions ng Senado.
But as for SP Soto, medyo malabo na for the opening of 20th Congress.
Well, as all the pronouncements of my friends from the other side is that they have the numbers, so be it.
But anything can happen.
anything can happen. Remember that mid-year, 2026, 2027, anything can yet happen. So, what is important is like-minded senators will get together and decide one day that if they're satisfied with the leadership or not. Our bloc is ready to support.
Okay, Camille.
Senator, yung impeachment po talaga is very divisive. Alam po natin yan sa buong bansa actually. Is support or opposition to BP Duterte's impeachment becoming a proxy battle in the race for Senate presidency?
Ano po yun? Is
Kasi yung race po, ito po bang impeachment kay BP Duterte?
Oh, yeah, malaking
ito po ba
bagay
ang
yun.
proxy battle para
She's still
sa...
the number one. She's still the number one in all the surveys that I've seen in the last 3 weeks. She's still the number one leading candidate. The last one nakita ko, 35% siya. At nandun si Bongo at 14%. So kung tanggalin mo yung Bongo at tanggalin mo yung Bongo factor dun, that's about 49%. So, siyempre hindi naman yung boboto kay Bongo, boboto kay Sara din yun. So kung tanggalin mo yung numero ni Bongo, siya pa rin ang majority candidate o magiging number one candidate. So, yeah, some people, that's what they look at. They're looking at it as a race to remove her from office. And once impeached, she will be banned from running for public office. So, of course, that's one way of looking at it. But then again, let's see. Mahirap magsalita. I'm a senator judge now. So, as a senator judge, I don't want to put out any cards at the moment, and we'll see what happens when we go along.
Yung labanan po ba na to, Senator, is about yung mga gustong magtuloy ng impeachment at saka yung gusto na, yung ayaw magtuloy? Will it be
Feeling ko,
a big issue?
Feeling ko, pag umpisa natin itong July 28, the preceding day, or the next day rather, July 29, there probably will be debates on the impeachment process. I think fundamental question is, itutuloy ba? Bakit tatanong ng presiding officer or tatanong ng Senate President yan? I leave it to the body, tutuloy ba? So yan ang botohan, kung itutuloy ba o hindi. I think ganun ang mangyayari dyan. So, we'll see, no, kung sinong mananaig, sinong mananalo.
Okay.
Sir, do you think yung Senate presidency was decided along the lines of impeachment?
My silence is deafening. I don't confirm nor deny.
Last
Pero
two-
syempre, ano yun, par for the course yun. Diba?
Last two
Alam mo, sa
questions.
politics lang
Okay,
Ate Sally, scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Yeah.
Ganun lang naman yan, di ba? So, ano yun?
Teka, last two questions from Danielle and then from Rappler and then, kay Raymond pa. Okay.
Okay. Senator, so far, base dun sa nakukuha namin, the Senate leadership is a done deal as of now, right? But the opening of the 20th
Anything
Congress...
can still happen, guys.
Yeah.
Anything can still happen.
Still 3
I mean,
weeks
there's
away.
2 weeks to go. Maybe one of the blocks there will see us. So, we're not saying it's a done deal.
Yeah.
Although, signature-wise, I think it is. Marami nang pumirma nun.
Sa
Pero
resolution.
sa
May
resolution, I think may over 13 na sila. But anything can still happen between now till 2028. So, I mean, July 28. July 28.
Top center mo, no?
Inom muna ako ng kape. Kakape muna ako. Ay,
Graduation.
hindi pa gumagalaw yung Ha? Wala na ako. Retired na ako nun. Hindi, no?
Okay, tapos ka na, Rappler?
Meron pa. Sorry, sir, so...
So it's
what-
still possible.
Yeah,
Anything
it's
can
still
still happen,
possible.
yes.
So what do you think will turn the tide for Cheese Escudero or Soto? Ano ba yung possible pa na maganap in the lead up to the opening of the 20th Congress that could possibly change the decision for now?
Well, I can't say. I mean, they all have to examine their conscience on who they want to support. Diba? Ganun lang naman yan. It's an individual decision. Although it's by blocks. We all know there's a 7-man block, the Duterte block. The Duterte block can join us. We're already 12. All we need is one. That's 13. Diba? They can join Cheese, then they have the number. So, there's also the other block. There's the Cayetano block. So, maraming bloke din eh. So,
Nililigawan niyo yung Duterte Black?
dalawa pero kasama din, may mga kasama din sila. Well, for example, there's also the Tulfo block, dalawa. Cayetano block, dalawa.
Pero pumirma na daw.
Hindi, yung Estrada block.
Villar Black, Estrada Black.
Well, I guess yung seatmates na naiwan doon, 3 sila. Diba? So, I mean, for example, if we get If the seatmates all of a sudden decide to come back to us, then that's 4 plus 3, 7. Plus, let's say we get the Cayetano block, that's 7, 8, 9. So we just have to get 3 more. I mean,
Duterte
things
block.
can still happen. Things can still happen. Nothing is, we're not surrendering at this point in time. Basta importante na dito sa grupo namin, gusto sana namin protektahan ang integridad ng Senado. Maawa na kayo. Bugbog ng Senado. Sa matang tao, bugbog ng Senado. So,
Sir, never say die kayo.
never say die. Iron Eagle.
Okay. Daniel, then Raymond, and then Myla.
Kanta yan eh.
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, paano kung kayo yung lumaban do sa Senate presidency? May chance ba na makuha nyo yung Duterte block? And since sa Mindanao naman po kayo.
I don't want to talk about numbers at this point in time, partner. Mahirap ng pag-usapan yan kasi magsalita ako, mahirap na.
Sir, yung sa impeachment lang, sinabi nyo rin kanina na parang tutol kayo na tumawid. Dapat end na sa 19th Congress. So, ibig sabihin, pag nag-start yung 20th Congress at italakayin yung impeachment, hindi nyo na mabaharangin.
Hindi na. Well, pag din-decision yung grupo na ituloy ang diskusyon, we have to continue with the process. We have to continue with the process.
Okay.
Huwag tayo matakot bumoto. Diba? Bumoto tayo. Many of them have made up their minds anyway. So let's proceed with the process. You want to shorten it? Okay. But then let's vote. Let's decide.
Sir, si
Sa
Myla,
body.
yung kung nakita yung resolution,
Okay.
okay lang. Okay, Raymond.
Doon lang sa parang yung considering yung emotion ninyo regarding the Senate leadership. Diba, in 1 or 2 words, how would you describe the current Senate leadership? Just like you were saying before your time na consensus leader kayo. What about today?
Today, are you asking me if I'm still a consensus builder? Of course, I'm a...
How do you describe the current Senate leadership?
Ayun nga, medyo may... Sa aking pananaw, kasi sa kanila, okay sila dun sa style na yun. Pero sa aking pananaw, ay kulang yung aming consultations. Nalala nyo yung sa People's Initiative. Kung hinayaan ko na lang magdiskusyon kami sa plenaryo, wala kami consensus. Hindi nyo nakita yung front page natin na litrato, hawak-hawak namin yung 24 signatures on the resolution expressly going against that fake People's Initiative, di ba? I had to get that through consensus, through consultation. So that's my style. And when we discussed many measures, when we discussed Create More, when we discussed all the very important bills, pati Maharlika, we had to have consensus building and consultation. May debate pa rin sa floor. Hindi naman mawawala yung debate sa floor. Pero at least, ang kagandahan yan, alam nila yung issue. Di ba? Minsan, nasa floor na kami, nagtitingin na kami ni Nancy Binay, sasabihin niya, ano bang direksyon ng Senado dito? Hindi ko alam. Siyempre, mayroon tayong decision dito sa iba't ibang, or opinions dito sa iba't ibang mga issues. Pero, yan ang gusto sana namin maiba. And of course, we don't like yung divide and conquer, kakausapin isa-isa, tapos, pangakuan na mga kung ano-ano. Ayaw namin ng leader na ganyan. Wala akong binabanggit na gano'n. Sinabi ko, ayaw ko lang ng leader na ganyan. That's why I want to correct the misconception. When I said I do not like the dictatorial types, I wasn't referring to the current leadership of the Senate. I was just saying I don't like dictatorship-style leadership for the Senate, wherein isa lang tao ang magdidesisyon at bahala na kayo sa buhay ninyo. Kung gusto nyo, debatihan nyo ako sa plenaryo. Remember, as I mentioned, the Supreme Court, kanina, sabi ko, lahat ng abogado gusto maging member ng Supreme Court. Okay. Lahat ng member ng Supreme Court, ang leader niyan, you call primus inter pares.